order seni or say any ye no control point no cry yanking ni na or say any ne. Okay, so time to bring you the mental health show, and as I mentioned earlier, we want to look at setting meaningful goals. We are in a new year, and you have got to set some goals for yourself. So how do you set these new goals without carrying the old one into the new year? You can add some though, but we want to know how you can set goals that are meaningful and then achievable. So with me here in the studio to have that discussion, I have Major Nana Adumakon here with us. I have Barnabas Atangongo, and also Amina has joined us for the first time this year. For the first time this year. We are live on Facebook as always, thanks to Combs and Matthew. And the Facebook Live is Fila FM 89.3. Fila FM 89.3. And also live on TikTok, Akosia Fila. And then 89.3 Fila FM, especially the 89.3 Fila FM. No, more join and I'm on like it. And for MIA, more like it MIA, because there will be more we'll be doing there. So like the page for us. And my name is Akosia Kwatma Boachi Ekibi, welcoming you out there for the mental health show. And those watching also, I want to welcome you to the mental health show. So as I have welcomed you out there, let me also welcome my guest in the studio. Good morning, Major Amina Barnabas.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Amina.
Okay.
Happy New Year. I'm seeing you for the first time
Yes,
this year.
please. Same to you.
How was the holidays? How did it go for you?
It was very productive. Yes.
It went well.
It went well.
We are grateful.
And how was yours?
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. As some people will say, we can't complain. We don't even intend to complain. I don't know if you can't complain. I don't know why you still have to say it. I can't complain. Anyways, thank you so much. Barabas, how was your weekend?
AKB.
Yes, dear.
Mine was tiring. I had to travel and I came back later on, so I enjoyed the most part of it, working a few times. But I enjoyed Sunday. At least after church, I came to sleep well. So
after church, you came to sleep.
Yeah, it was nice.
Oh, okay, that's great. Major,
AKB.
how's yours?
AKB, we are still fasting, so
Okay.
we are here.
It's cool.
I don't know why my mom is laughing at me. But
Yeah,
we are
so
fasting.
we
are still in a month of consecration. So.
Okay.
AKB, we come for Ruby and Train. We are fasting. At this point, to be on train.
Come on, be on train.
Come on, be on train.
We are fasting on it at
I hope them is awful until you are making.
Also, for Tinyamiati.
Oh, we so why busy or theater.
Also, for your sin, let me know who they
it as well.
Sure. It is real. It is well. All right. So now let's come back to our business. All right. Setting meaningful goals. We are in a new year, and we want to know how to set meaningful goals, not just goals, but meaningful goals. So, coming to you, Major, can you tell us what it means to set a meaningful goal? And what it means to set a meaningful goal?
Okay, once again, we are happy to be here. Another wonderful Tuesday morning, a mental health Tuesday, as you rightly say every time. And it's here for we are looking at setting meaningful goals. Last week we spoke about
Gratitude and how it affects your mental health.
So I think this year topics carefully chosen.
Okay.
The first topic to start the year was gratitude and how it affects your mental health. So after you have shown gratitude to both God and your colleague human beings, Now you set the ground to set meaningful goals for the year 2026, right? Obi Beka said usually during 31st, when we are transiting to the new year, we talk about resolutions. So why are we talking about goals, not resolutions? I'm saying me premuno and then Madam Aba. Why kama right? Obe more into that. So we are saying that resolutions could be shaky because they are usually vague. They are not specific. They are not what's it called? Purpose driven. But when we are looking at goals, a lot of things go into it. Until we have shifted from just the resolution to setting meaningful goals. And our goals there are no and you go be akeke. You some qualified goal with a beautiful adjective, which is meaningful. Then it means that we also can set goals which are not meaningful.
Sure.
Or ends from 2025 to 2026. It sounds like we're down for B3 Mapuka, it also so chinchina person to Mapuka this year. Yeah, it's not meaningful, right? To me actualize it, but you are still aiming at that. But today we want to break it down for us to really understand. So setting meaningful goal. Now I'll take it one by one per the words in the heading. Now when we look at setting, setting bibia, it is done consciously. The awareness of the individual is there. Unim the away. Into any bibia wa bo trimuna opesel. So when you are setting something, it means that you are conscious, you are actively involved, and you are showing that full commitment to whatever it is you want to do. That is point one. Now, when something is meaningful, it has to be a meaningful, so certain, meaningful. We are looking at something which is grounded. Bibia ehunwon faso. Bibia say ewohwa. Uni so no say bibia ye. The result of it is good when something is meaningful. So you could do certain things which are not meaningful, just like the development of the child. Akola 0 to 1 month. They're from unit. So always they are crying. So things they do usually are not meaningful. This is also because that is the only way that child can express him or herself. So when something is meaningful, we are saying that the thing is grounded. It's more substantial. Now let's move to goals. Yeah, can say goals no a result you want. The what you want to have. Effort is directed when we are dealing with goals. It means that, like I said, when you are setting up something, conscious effort is a conscious activity, and this activity, the effort, it has a directional. Until you own faster and more, because already it is purposeful. When we say this is what I want to do, so you go in all for that. Now, goals could be vague if not properly planned. You can set your goals. It can be very vague. I can't say be a vague. As you say, it is just vague if not properly planned. And say who setting goal no now one setting ye nekoye vega, it adds up to your pressure in that period under review. Now one show here it will put you in a state of disarray and you become more confused in life throughout the entire 2026. So this morning we are looking at setting meaningful goals. So meaningful goals by our researchers. And research on your bar on our address come so
thumbs up to our researcher.
Yeah, researcher, Madam Amina. So our researchers are making us to understand that when we talk about meaningful goal, we are saying that it is deeply personal. You personalize it. Bibi our personalized the just say boom or this shame ubibia wom. So you would want to do it. Now it is purpose driven. You can't count it that. So a meaningful goal is purpose driven. Just say purpose near
it's a butaye
bi I say inti butaye bi wo ha wo si oni so and you want to get it done. Now there is this scenario I want to share with you from our researcher, then we can end it there on the introduction. It says think of it like planting a tree. A tree good. A wish is admiring a forest from afar. So you are wishing for something. So you wish from afar. You are just looking at it just like it is. A resolution is tossing seeds randomly, right? Send your ude eduabano seed me kwashe from wa obe dane ne kakra. So near man the activities you do to ensure say nya be no betimi aye no is more of like a resolution. But a meaningful goal is choosing the right soil. Before you even went into whatever thing you want to do, why or cost analysis? Why you need to say me way this is what I'll get. Me way this is what I'll get. Why you that is where you can say that the individual is practicing meaningful goals or setting meaningful goals. Now, our researchers gave us a beautiful scenario, and I want to read it to the public so that they can enjoy it, not only from my side. He said, imagine a woman wishing for a better career. A woman who is wishing for a better career, where you school, or university, while your national service. The next thing is, mommy no papa here ni mukwa say oba nya bibi papa bia na be maybe so irresponsible a bit me about be found e dey work with na fie. Now, a resolution here might be apply for the job, right? A lady away school, a young lady who is wishing for a better career, one. Now, a resolution might be applying for jobs. We said that earlier. Say resolution is more about tossing the seed. It will get me closer in actualizing those end results.
Yeah.
So I need to apply for a job. I need to start going for job interviews. I need to put together my CV. So you are tossing the seed in order to make it viable to survive in the soil, right? Now, understanding that, we are also saying that watering consistently and nurturing growth over time, leading to lasting results, right? Good. So after you have applied for the job, a meaningful goal here could be securing a promotion in marketing by completing an online certification and networking at 2 events per month. Okay, I don't know whether you are getting it. So it is a little bit deep here. Researchers no we deep. Deep here. So because no
deep thinker.
So in resolution, you are applying. We said it is the point where you have to toss the seed in order to actualize whatever it is you want to do. Now, after applying, we are saying a meaningful goal. You have to go a step further, and in going that step further, you are conscious in your mind. You are seeking an end result. The end result is, in having a career, it's not just about going into the career as a journalist. That is what you want, but you want to be a successful journalist. So what could you do in making you a best marketable entity? Into the also called journalism school. But would so be difference be put you much more better than the individual and a meaningful goal. So such a lady who is seeking for that job opportunity would end up looking at other things online. I'll be to me in enhancing her value in that career seeking now. Suppose when you jumano, yes, acquire marketing no. When you apply for marketing job, ni amano sa marketing assistant job no. But what ni oba no be din komo or be sell idea and or beton product na mawa. I mean the way our kasa ni apt, ni research, ni thinking no ye different. you will still see another person who is in the same marketing field, but you're very shallow. So this morning, by the time we will be done with setting meaningful goals, no, 2025 December 31st. Sorry, no, and maybe our may not really be a meaningful goal. And after this, you would have come back again to the drawing board, restructure yourself, and now put together meaningful goals which are able to be actualized at the end of the year. And you can beat your chest out and say that I'm back. I purposed it, I work consciously towards it, and I have actualized or achieved it. So that is what this morning's interaction and our discussion is geared towards. It is not too late. We are still in January. Today is 20th January. We have 365 days in a year. We have just done 20 out of 365. That cannot do so. Don't worry. Maybe any resolutions. You are just wishing. You see a mumpire. So see a mumpire until the about 2 months. But by the time we are done with this, from what our researchers have produced for us, you would appreciate things very well and work assiduously towards that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Major and Nono. So, like he said, we make wishes, we make resolutions, and even sometimes we attempt to set goals for ourselves. But at the end of the day, we realize that we are not even able to achieve those goals that we've set for ourselves. Why? Is it that some people or some are not able to, achieve or even struggle to follow through the goals that they've set for themselves? Amina, come in.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me take the opportunity to greet our dear viewers and listeners. For the first time, I'm here in 2026, and as usual, I'm always excited to be here with you. Major has said so much considering what meaningful goals are, and a lot of us do set them. We would want to now look at why do we set them and we are unable to achieve them. The first, I would say, is lack of clarity.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a wish, we have a resolution, and as he rightly put, they are vague, meaning they lack direction. So if your goal is meaningful, then it should have some sense of direction. It should have time you would want to achieve by, as well as the things that you will require to help you achieve those goals. So for you people who normally aren't able to achieve their goals, means their goals lack some sort of clarity. So for example, if you say I would like to get fit, that is vague. But if you say I would run 5 kilometers 3 times a week
To get fit,
that is backed by certain actions you would take that is going to also help you achieve it. As well, a lot of people also set goals based on societal or social expectations, not something they really want or need. And so for example, we say a lady who is unmarried and she's around 31, 32, by the end of the year would say this coming year I should get married. So with that one, yes, though it's something you set to achieve, but is this something you really need at the point? And so if you are also setting your goals based on societal expectations or what others expect of you, then such goals always end in frustrations and people are unable to achieve them. Also, I've already mentioned some goals lack timelines and then they ignore the emotional and physical capability of the person to achieve it. So let's say you are aiming for a career.
yeah,
And the career, last year, though you've worked towards it for some time, but you got married along the way and you are having a child. The way you could have pursued it when you were alone without extra responsibility would differ from how you'll be able to work towards it currently, because the situation has changed. So in setting meaningful goal, for you to be able to achieve it, you have to also look at your ability to be able to achieve that. That way you reduce the confusion along the way. Also, emotional blocks. A lot of people look at goals as physical, something that can be done based on what we've been able to gather. But emotionally or psychologically, I say goals are first psychological. If you are unable to how do I put it? Let's say you've set the goal. You've been able to put the things that you require to achieve the goal, but your mind is beating you up. You feel like you are not going to be able to achieve it. That alone, I say, breaks the chain, because psychologically it is so powerful that whatever you tell yourself is what manifests more than what your surroundings tell you. Yeah. So goals are more psychological than physical. So if you are not able to achieve your goals, there could be the possibility that what you tell yourself, the conversations you have inwardly, might be negative towards the goals that you are seeking to achieve. Also, a lot of us are so occupied with the outcome and not the steps or the actions we can take towards achieving those outcomes. I always say that let's enjoy the journey, because it is through the journey you become someone different. But if you are focused on the outcome, a lot of outcomes are out of our how do I say, it's out of your control. Whatever you seek to achieve might not necessarily go the way you want it. But if you are able to take the steps that are required and you enjoy the process gradually towards the outcome, even if the outcome doesn't go exactly the way you would have come out a better person than you were when you started it. So these are some of the reasons, AKB, that people usually set goals but they are unable to achieve them. One, because their goals lack clarity. Also, they set their goals based on societal expectations, and then a lot of us are also obsessed with the outcome rather than the action steps that we can take in order to help us achieve those goals. And then the last one is also that goals are psychological in nature as well, rather than physical, and what exactly we are seeing that we seek to achieve.
Okay, thanks so much, Amina. Now coming to Barnabas. Barnabas, how can one align their goals with their values? Because Amina mentioned values, so how can one align your goal with your values, roles, and also the current season of life?
Okay, so thank you very much. So with the various goals that an individual is going to set, we have to know that it will work best if it's aligning with your values, it's aligning with certain things that you believe in, and it's also focusing on the season that you have within your life. Because when it works that way, it makes it very much easier for you as an individual. So the first principle, the first way to help us align our goals with our values, our season in life, and other commitments that we have or roles that we have, is that we have to first of all be self-aware about ourselves. So you have to be self-aware. So self-awareness also means that you are identifying things that are critical to you. For instance, things that makes you fulfilled in life, things that make you happy in life. For some people, for the person is looking at getting maybe 1 million to be okay in life. But for some particular individual, when they get even 10,000 Ghana cedis, they are okay. Cool. So you have to identify whatever that is okay for you. So once you identify that, it means that you are being self-aware on the things that are most important to you. So once you identify that, it helps you to be able to align or structure your goals in accordance to the values that you have, in accordance to the roles that you have, and in accordance to the season in life that you are also experiencing. The next thing is that as an individual, if you want to make sure that your goals align with your values and other things that you're experiencing within your current moment, you have to start on reflecting on your core values. So you reflect on other key things that are very important to you. So for instance, in the professional field, if you are someone that values more connection with your working colleagues, that is something that is very meaningful to you. So reflecting on your core values as someone that enjoys connection, someone that enjoys the interaction with other people, your goal at the workplace could be to build a good meaningful relationship with at least 2 people, maybe by the end of the year. So with you reflecting on that value of connection can help you identify that goal, so that you build that goal to be able to draw people more closer to you, and that also helps you to become more fulfilled in your professional career. So it's very important that if you want to also align your goals with your values, roles and other seasons in life, you reflect on them to identify your key values. Then also you have to also consider your current life season. When I say consider your current life season, you are looking at yourself to identify, where am I standing currently in my life. So for instance, if you are someone like me who is not married yet, I'm going to set my goals based on me alone. Maybe my girlfriend is somewhere, but in my intermally space.
You have a girlfriend. So you have a girlfriend. We agree you are not married yet, but you have a girlfriend.
My girlfriend is listening. I don't want to get in trouble. So you're going to look at your current season in life and set the goals according to that. But if I was married like Major or Madam Amina, if I'm setting my goals, right, I will have to consider my husband. If it's Madam Amina, I have to also consider children. The same applies to Captain. So the goals that I'm going to set is going to be different from the goal that someone who is a married person is going to set. And it's very important, because if you set the goal according to your current season, it makes it easier for you to be able to execute the goal. Amina talked about how we should enjoy the process. So if you are able to know that I'm in this current season, there is the phase that I find myself, and you set the goals aligning to that, it makes it much easier for you. And if you will be able to enjoy it more than you just setting the goal without considering the current season or the current stage that you are in. So it's very important. If you're a family person, you are setting your goal, you have to set the goal with your other people in mind, because whatever that you do, they have some way of influencing that goal that you set. But if you are someone that may possibly staying alone, there might not be other form of interference that you have to take care of before you set that goal. So we are saying this, for instance, let's say you are a married person and talk about going to school within that particular year, and you don't consider your partner, you don't consider your children. You realize that at the period you are likely to pay school fees. Your partner may also decide that, oh, me too, I also want to go to school. And if you don't, once you didn't consider these individuals within your goal setting, it's going to develop into some kind of conflict, and it's going to be like you ignored us whilst you are setting your goal, but we are supposed to be a family. So that is why it's important that you identify the current season or the current state in which you are in, and you set the goal aligning yourself to those seasons that you are experiencing. Then another important thing, if you want to be able to align your goals to your values, is that you have to practice what we call a role integration. So just as if you're a mother and you realize that you are taking care of your children in the house, maybe you are also a professional person or you are also working. So in that said, your goal can be to, if you are focusing on communication, your goal can be to improve your communication with other people or with people around you. And with that goal of improving your communication, you can start by practicing it from the house. Maybe perhaps these days you've realized that any little thing, you become angry and you want to beat your children, or you are booting them, or you are beating them all around, and you cannot replicate that kind of attitude at the workplace. So if you set a goal to be able to communicate calmly, it can be part of your role in the house, where you can start from your role in the house and practice upon it, and later on send it to the workplace. So you can integrate your role, you can practice role integration, where your goal will also be seen in the various role that you are playing. If you're a professional person, your goal can be seen in the role that you are playing at work. And with that said, it makes it much easier for you to execute this goal, and you end up enjoying this process, and it becomes very easier for you to achieve those goals. So AKB, if you want to align your goals to your values, these are the key things that we talked about. So you become self-aware of yourself, you reflect on your core values, you practice role integration, then you also consider the current season in your life that you are experiencing before you set those goals. So AKB, this is what we have.
Okay, thank you very, very much, Barnabas. Now coming to Major, let's look at what role mindset and emotional well-being plays in achieving your meaningful goals.
Okay, so AKB, we'll continue. I don't know why Barnabas is on me this morning.
Barnabas,
I'm not on you. But so say he even said three but I
don't know why Barnabas is on me today, and why he's also busy promoting her Sija status. Don't worry. So Barnabas, this year one of your meaningful goals is to
get married.
Get married. So we are good to go. So okay, we want to look at the roles, mindset and emotional well-being play in achieving a meaningful goal. But we would like to know the meaning or the relationship between these two words. Then it will break the ground for us to get a better grasp in how they play a role in making us achieve meaningful goals. So the first thing we'd like to look at is a mindset. So what is mindset?
Mindset.
And what you know what I say?
Mindset. What do you know?
And I know but I wanted to be sure. Okay, we have similar mindsets. You agree with and so I agree with So agree with So we are saying that so a mindset could be the belief one has in the abilities to improve, right? So the belief one has, the belief that you have, believe here, GDA. So the belief one has in the abilities that he cannot improve. So this, when you're able to have this belief, who was arguing pona, a man was GDA no. It rather brings into you that feel of resilience. Forward ever, backwards never. So for you to be able to set meaningful goals and actualize it, you need to have a proper shaped mindset, and that mindset should bring to you that belief that you can improve no matter what. It can be when you want to actualize meaningful goals, it comes with its own challenges, it comes with its own obstacles. So many things will come your way. Unyane better sa unyane Yesu Christo crown or no or barriers no unyane better sa how much more yen to unyane better sa. So you should also have it at the back of your mind. Some of the periods will be calm, others will be tough. But if you have a good mindset, like we are saying, believing that abilities can improve, and who will team as your it makes the journey in actualizing your meaningful goals realistic. Money is real. But if you are too hard on yourself, or if you are so fixed to a particular thing, say it will say definitely you will break down. And when you break down, you go into depression. You start grieving. Now won't do the last D, which is depression. By the time you will accept now, the harm has already been caused. So what we are trying to tell our listeners and our viewers this morning is that in setting meaningful goals, you should have a healthy mindset. And Mupono should be clear. When you say there may be good times, when the good times come, try and celebrate it. When the bad time comes, also admit and change it, restructure the goal. And I tell you, you have a better way of going about things. Now, in relation to the mindset, about emotional well-being, in relation to the mindset, we have said it before, stress and anxiety could play a role, right? Stress and anxiety could play a role. It can be for you to feel that awareness and set meaningful goals. Something should strike you. I'll say BB to me Pimo say no, it is time. Sorry, no Jabez. Realize that no, I've stayed in this space for quite a long time. I need to change. And he says what? God, I want you to expand my territory and enlarge my coast. So at that point, something should strike you. And that thing which is striking you is the stress. Don't forget, we have a positive form of stress, you have a negative form of stress. So that positive stress will hit you, the you stress will hit you, and it will generate that anxiety, which will drive you to come out with meaningful things, and by so doing, actualizing them. Don't also forget, whilst this is giving you the positive stress, others will also come in a negative form. The same way as the J, near Papa, a banner saying, J. But in all these, though, we should also learn to managing our stress. Maybe later in the year we'll look at stress management again, and we'll come back again to the 4 A's. There are certain things you can avoid. Firstly, avoid them. Certain things you cannot avoid, but you can alter, you can change it, alter it. There are certain things you can't avoid, you can't alter, but you can adapt. Adaptation here, maybe there is something about you which is not making you actualize those meaningful goals.
Okay.
O kasado do. O si dan ki tu ebi. O tu susu so person de koto abobo ya, ana o tu susu so person de kosi uda. Waka mo bi ate. Nti ano ne adwen kra na o de ka asem na obi kwenya bi boni bi about it. Nipa no say wa dan for kra na o de time bi na di share. So try and adapt. And also where you cannot avoid, where you cannot alter, you adapt. Okay, there are also some of them you can't do any of these three. You just have to accept them and then move on. Like Barnabas is refusing to accept that this year he has to get married. At all costs, he has to get married. So at this point,
set a goal for someone.
no, AKB, you can. That is why we are here. AKB, on a more serious note, there are some people listening to us who are finding it difficult. In setting their meaningful goal. How can I know that this is meaningful and this is not? That is why Barnabas is here. That is why I'm also here. That is why Madam Amina is also here. So maybe Barnabas is struggling. So we are helping him to set that goal of getting married this year. And we'll try and bring out the strategies that it will help him in actualizing that meaningful goal.
Don't mind. He's supposed to guide me, not set it for me.
Where persuasion feels force applied. So the second part is well-being. We've looked at mindset. Now I want to look at well-being. When your mindset is clear, when your mindset is well established, you are you see everything is properly arranged. So now you are fine, you are comfortable. Now you are able to make better decisions. So a well-being is providing that energy. So when the energy is there, now your stress level is calm, is reduced, and now you can focus in making those meaningful goals actualized in future. So it is not just about mindset, it is also about your emotional ability, having being well-being. Well-being, they say everything is in a state of equilibrium. Is in a conducive environment to properly function. It is a nothing will work. Nothing will work. And well-being, we want to look at self-compassion as a critical tool. AKB, self-compassion is what we want to tell our listeners and viewers here. Be your own supportive coach. Some people are so hard on themselves that AKB, say, by the first quarter of this year, I want to do this. They can't even punish themselves. People are like that. They punish themselves for things they were not able to do. We are saying that you don't go about things like that. Self-compassion is very, very key and important. Yes, there is always room for improvement. Obieni Barnabas credit, me report card I checked that. Me defense dey be
I deny
this. My classmates be here on the member. So okay, we say ubenya first in class, but still your teacher right more room for improvement. More room for improvement. So always have it at the back of your mind. Say, whilst you are trying to make meaningful goals and achieve them through those directed and purposeful efforts, a bit to me something could go wrong. a bar, note that you need to have that kind of self-compassion. And ya humobro Emma Wankasa who say, yes, I'm kuyi, and then say, I say, or achia, so there are other ways I can go about it in making this actualize. Okay, these are the things that mindfulness and what's called well-being play in making us have a meaningful goal and actualizing this meaningful goal.
Okay, so many thanks to you. Now coming back to Amina.
Okay.
How can people break big life goals into realistic, achievable steps without feeling overwhelmed of that?
Thank you so much. A lot has been said, and to add to that, to achieve or break your goals down into realistic and achievable steps. When we say realistic, what we are looking at is the goal you have set. Is it matching your current state? So in your when I say current state, we are looking at your finance, we are looking at the resources you have, we are looking at your energy, maybe your time. So you have to consider all these things with the goal that you have set. Now, if you've been able to match this and you see that yes, it's realistic, then how do we go ahead to achieve that? We need to this method I would like to share, which is called the chunking method. Simply, when we are chunking, it means we are breaking something down. And so can we break the goal that you've set for yourself down such that you can attempt them, or you can pursue them gradually until you are able to get to the last step? Looking at it, we can look at it in this scenario. You wanting to climb to the second floor of a building. You don't just stand at the first floor, put your first step on the first one, and then you want to just jump all through to the next floor. It doesn't happen. You either fall down and crash, or you get injured. But what do? You step at one, then the next go to the other one in that order. Gradually, no matter how high the building is, if you take your time and you take those steps that way, before you realize, you will be there. So chunking is just like that. You breaking your goals into meaningful steps that you can tackle without you feeling overwhelmed. So for example, let's say you have an idea of writing a book. You wouldn't just sit and the book will be available. So the first step in the chunking step is you defining exactly what you want to do. So in this case, I want to write a novel. Then the next step is we identify the base. What are the pillars? What are the big areas within that goal that we are looking at? Then you can, so first maybe you can have the outline. Then you can have another one as the research you have to conduct. You can also look at the drafts of the first is it section? Yes, so the first section, and then your editing, and then your publishing. So these are like the pillars that are going to hold that particular goal. Then after you've been able to know this, you plan your daily activities that is going to help you achieve whatever it is that you have set yourself to. Now so in this case, let's say you have the research, you have the outline, the first draft, the edit, and the publish. So we pick the research. Every day you look at yourself. We've already said for it to be realistic, you have to consider your time, your energy, and everything. So if you are still so busy, because you might maybe say you are a mother, you are still working, but the goal is to write a novel. So in this case, considering all this, at what particular time in the day would you be able to set aside to write the novel or to do the research? And then what will be the things that you will need financially, resource wise, among other things that will help you achieve that particular goal? So chunking is just the steps that you will take one step after the other to help you achieve the particular goal that you have set. So an example, as I said, is that one, you brainstorm the ideas. Two, you look at the I'll let Mr. Wadawas come in here. Mr. Wadawas, please come in here for me. And
can we trust Henry?
Anyway, it's very important. As Amina talked about, there are some steps that we need to actually follow to break down those big life goals into various realistic ones. So she has talked about the chunking method. So you have to prioritize the steps that you have. So make sure that you align or you provide certain timelines for the resources that you have at your disposal. So when you break them into those things, also aligning them to the resources that you have, it makes it much easier, so that you know that at the end of the day, this particular step is going to match with this particular resources, so that when you begin to start it, you know the resource to mobilize to help you with it. So it's very important that we prioritize the steps and the timelines, and also the resources that we have to actually match those goals.
Okay, thanks. So this one, you had a bite of Amina's cake. So now it's your own cake now. So when should someone reassess, adjust, or should I say readjust, or even let go of a goal, and why can't we say that that is a failure if you have to readjust and then reassess and all that, and even let go of some of your goals? Can we say that could be a failure?
Okay, so this is very important, because there are people that when they get hold on to something, for them it's very difficult, even though the thing is either causing them a lot of harm. These people will still tend to hold on to it, even though there are some negative consequences that they might be experiencing. So I'll just talk about a few things that we can identify that will help us to know that it is time to reassess that particular goal that we've set for ourselves. It's time to either let go of it, or it's time for us to adjust that particular goal. So the first thing that I'll mention is that normally when we are setting a goal, Major talked about purpose of the goal. So it means that there is something that is driving you to set that particular goal. There is a potential, something that at the end of the day you want to achieve after setting that goal. So when you realize that the reason why you set up the goal at the first place has vanished, then it is time for you to either reassess your goal that you set for yourself, to adjust it, or sometimes to even abandon it. The reason being that, for instance, you set a particular goal that maybe you want to accumulate, let's say 50,000 Ghana cedis at the end of the year, but along the line, unfortunately for you, you lost your job. In that particular moment, you realize that maybe every month you were saving a particular sum of money. That period where you've lost your job, the money that you've saved, it means that you are going to go back to eat into it. So that is the same period for you to now sit down to reassess your goal of trying to make 50,000 cedis at the end of the year, either to adjust it or to either abandon it to a more minimum sum that it can be realistic for you at that particular moment. So when you realize that the reason why, the purpose, the driving force behind the goal that you set has vanished, then it is the first key thing, or the first indicator for you to identify that it is time for me to relook at the goal, to readjust it, or sometimes to either even abandon it. There are some times that, for instance, if Amina use an example of someone who wants to stay fit. So for instance, you want to stay fit, and one of your goal was to jog, as she said, like 5 kilometers every week, maybe 2 or 3 times a week throughout the year. And unfortunately for you, something happened and you had an accident and there is a fracture in your leg. How is it possible that you are going to achieve that you've set for yourself? At that particular moment, you have to abandon that goal. If you don't abandon it, it's going to eat you up. So that's why we are telling you that there are some times that you realize that the purpose of you setting the goal becomes impossible if it becomes impossible at that particular point in time, or it becomes different, or the direction changes, you need to sit down to reassess, adjust it, or sometimes to even abandon it. The next thing is that if you realize that the goal that you've set is causing you more harm than it should cause you that good, the idea is that normally when you set that goal and you realize that there are objectives and you are achieving the objectives little by little, it should be able to make you feel happy. You should be enjoying the process. But when you set a goal and you realize that even on the path of you achieving those goals, it's rather causing you a lot of harm in the process, then it means that that is a goal that you need to really abandon. And also importantly, when we talk about harm, not only physical harm, here it is much of even the psychological harm. So you've set a goal to actually work to that extent where you are making your 50,000, and that 50,000 might involve you neglecting the small time that you used to spend with your children, that your children were very fond of you. When you come to the house, they are running towards you, holding you and hugging you. But because you set this goal, your children barely see you. The time that they see you, maybe they've woke up at dawn and they are going to pee. That one, they don't see your face, or whether it's their father or someone else lying down there. Because of that, maybe weekends you barely even stay in the house, and now your children even sees you and they are eyeing you. At that particular point in time, this is not something that is contributing better to your well-being.
Say, Mama, who is this? Who is this man?
So that is it. Your children even you become an alien. You become an alien to them. So at that particular point in time, you should realize that the goal you've set is causing you certain harm, and because of it's causing you certain harm, you need to readjust it, reassess it, or either abandon it in that particular moment. Sometimes it can be your relationship with your wife. Obviously, if you are someone that is spending a lot of time, you're getting time for your wife, it's an issue. Anyway, the man says that the women like money. Later on, when you get the money, they like attention. But we have to balance all these things.
Women like money. I'm gonna pay money.
Man, why are you a boy?
Remember, they won't pay money.
Oh, remember you pay money. But that map pay more money. So you have to balance all these things to make sure that it's not affecting any aspect of your life. So the moment a goal is harming you, whether psychologically, physically, or emotionally, it's time for you to reassess it, either adjust it or also abandon it. Then the next thing that I'll talk about is that there are certain periods, certain seasons that you realize that certain things have changed in your life. So for instance, you are in a situation where you set a particular goal for yourself, and certain life event happens that when they set something for themselves, they don't leave room for other errors. Even in research, we say we leave some room for errors. So sometimes people say they are confident in their results 95%. Some people will tell you they are confident in their results 99%. Even with that, there's an error margin of 1% in there. So as an individual, if you are setting some of these goals, we should know that there can also be some circumstances that will lead us to either abandon the goal, to re-modify it. And it's normal and it's okay. And if you do that, it has a way of actually helping you. You set a new goal and it keeps on motivating you, and you keep on going forward as time goes on. Other than that, if you constrain yourself to a rigid kind of goal that is not realistic, that is not achievable, that is not attainable within that space of time that you've created for yourself, you are rather creating a lot of mental health issues that you are going to be experiencing, because at the end of the day you might not end up achieving it. And once you are someone that is rigid about these kind of things, you end up blaming yourself and end up saying you didn't do enough. Meanwhile, if you sit down to really analyze and assess yourself, you might have seen that there were a lot that you achieved. So the key point is that we have to know that even though we have talked about how we can actually achieve our goals, there are some of the goals, because of certain circumstances, you need to reassess it and not force yourself. So we have to be malleable and adjust the goals when it is needed for us to adjust.
Okay, we need to adjust the goals when it is necessary for us to do that. So this morning we've been talking about setting realistic, or should I say meaningful goals that are meaningful, and it's been an eye-opener for me. I don't know about you, but it has been an eye-opener for me. So Daniel Ajasi says that, good morning, Madam Akusia. Happy to hear from Major Captain Adumako. Hey, Moha Junior. Tamali for Moha Junior Mujumoho. Or see, tell him I'm still waiting for him. I need a very serious counseling. Hey, Asabu. You, Mate. Daniel Ajasi Mate. So, that has been our discussion for today, looking at certain realistic goals. So we've got to go. So let me take your final words before we do that. So Amina, let me start with you.
Thank you so much. And in my final words, I'll say that we set goals. Why? Simply because if you are there, you don't give yourself a direction. It's like the leaf that is on a tree branch. The wind blows it anywhere, and then it can even land in fire. So if it falls off the branch, so you give yourself the goal just to help you have a target or a direction where you would want to be by the end of the year. But understand that the goal is there to stretch you. It is not there to break you. You are still the captain of the ship. A lot has been said. Assess what you've set out to achieve, so that if you are moving on, you know what to do. And if you are facing challenges, if there is a need to seek help, you also seek the help that is needed. On this note,
can be brave. I mean, it's been good. We are saying that not all goals are attainable. Not all goals. You may set even a meaningful goal, but you may not be able to achieve it. It doesn't mean you're a failure. Okay. Right? I think that is what the last thing our researcher said. So it doesn't mean you are a failure. So what it only means is that you might have probably ignored your well-being, the well-being which is the fuel to carry you through. Some of us, we don't trust ourselves. You need to trust yourself. You need to have that kind of courage. Say, they can do. The can do no should be there. There is something written here by our researchers. They said if a road is blocked, a wise driver, UK Nibeka say reroute, America Beka reroute. So if a road is blocked, a wise driver reroute or reroute. They don't keep crashing into the barrier. Until open na enqua, the best is to reroute or reroute. Sisa kwan no enu nche se we feli bibi na nko ye ti se dia mana maska nema bebre e bia wa pomuden nema bia do any tools didn't work, just reroute and you will be fine. So it has been a very wonderful morning. Sure. And AKB, thank you as well as Phila FM for giving us this opportunity. And this year we share topics now we say a well related. It's here from we are just urging them to move with us.
Yeah.
It should move with us, and we promise that we'll get to the promised land, and we'll not be like Moses who acted out of anger and the wrath of God came on him. We'll go with them like Joshua did to Caleb. It's I'm in a period of fasting. Bible quotations with us. To me, soft so shine on to me pay more. Sorry.
Oh, so for you, man.
On to me pay more.
Okay. So thank you very much. It's been a wonderful Tuesday morning right here on Fila FM 89.3, and I really hope that you have enjoyed our discussion. I really hope that you have enjoyed our discussion so much. So